Shraddha from Miss Pink Shoes and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about how I edit my Instagram pictures. So a lot of you ask me on my Insta how I edit my pictures, and here also on YouTube. Every single time I repost a picture from my Insta, you guys ask me that question. So yeah, I'm going to show you how I exactly do it. So I love editing and sometimes I spend hours doing it. In today's video, I'm only going to show you basic editing which you guys can learn a lot from. If you want a more advanced version of this, do let me know, because there is a lot that I do at times. Certain pictures are very needy, they are shot under very bad circumstances and they require a lot of editing to make them look usable and Instagram worthy. But most of my pictures are quite light-handed on the editing aspect. There are just a few couple of things that I do on a standard basis. I'm going to show you my standard editing today. So yes, before we jump into the video, if you like my content and if you want to see more from me, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and also hit the bell icon right next to it so that you get notified every single time I upload a video. And now let's get started. Alright, so before I start my editing process, let me just talk to you about how I shoot my pictures. So I either use my camera, which is the Canon 70D, to take my pictures, or I use my phone, which is the Pixel 3. And yeah, I take most of my pictures currently with my phone, but when I have like a proper photo shoot to do or a collaboration or whatever, I always use my camera. So I either use the 50mm lens or the 18-55 lens. If you want me to do a video separately on how I exactly shoot my pictures, do let me know. I would love to do that for you. But today is all about editing. So I do most of my editing on my phone. I use a couple of apps. I do use Photoshop on my laptop from time to time when I really need to manipulate things. Like say for example, there is a switchboard in the background that needs to be removed, or there are pictures where I completely want to change colors. Like there are certain pictures where the colors are like red and I want to make them pink. So when there is a lot of manipulation involved, I use Photoshop. But yeah, for my general editing, I use my phone apps. So the apps that I use the most are Snapseed. Like that is the one that I use for all my pictures and sometimes just that. Then there are times where I use lens distortion to take it a step further when I want to add some light effects or some grain effects or whatever. There are times where my pictures are not clicked under the best lighting or the best background and I really need the support of filters to make them look better. So for those days I use VSCO or Visco, and very rarely do I use Lightroom when I just don't know how to edit my pictures. I'm not able to do anything with any of these apps. I go to Lightroom, they have a few presets which are really nice and their settings just work differently. So yeah, but the app that I use the most is Snapseed, and this tutorial is going to be all about that. So yes, I'm just going to display my phone screen right here so you guys can see what I'm doing. So that's what my editing folder looks like. It has a lot of apps. I don't use all of them. I use some of them from time to time depending upon the need. But yeah, talking to you guys about the mainstream editing I do. So I'm going to open up Snapseed and I'm just going to open up a picture that I am showing you a tutorial for. So this image is a selfie taken from my phone, and as you can see, it's already a nice picture and the colors look good, but I still feel there could be more colors in the background, there could be more light on me and everything could be a lot more nicer. So I'm just going to go to tools and tune the picture first. Tuning is just basic editing. So I'm just going to add some brightness to it, the amount I feel like that's required, so about 32, and then I'm going to go to highlights. And sometimes when the picture has too much light, you can bring down the highlights to sort of balance it, and when you take it higher up, it focuses more on the highlights and makes it brighter. So depending upon what your picture needs, you can go up and down on the highlights. I like to take it down for this picture because I feel like it balances all of the colors out really well. And then I'm going to go to something called ambiance, which is like a game changer in editing. So when you take it higher up, as you can see, it's adding a lot of color, especially to the background, and it's also balancing the foreground. And when you take it down, it takes away the colors, adds a lot of depth. I am definitely more on the color side, so I'm just going to take it up. So if you take it up to 100, you can see I look freaking yellow and it's all too bright and too edited. So I'm just going to bring it down to say about 60. That's what I'm happy with. My face is still a little too yellow. We will fix that later. But yeah, right now I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm also going to add a tad bit more shadows to this because I feel like that will give a little more depth. So I'm just going to keep it to like 20. And yeah, you can already see a before and an after. It has so much of a difference. Then I'm going to move on to the next feature of Snapseed, which I think is amazing, which is their selective tool. So you can basically select the areas that you want to fix and you can fix that. So first I'm going to take it to my face, bring down the center size, which is big enough to fit my face and my neck also, because you don't want to skip that. So I'm just going to go to saturation and bring it down a tad bit, like just about say -6. What this does is that this takes away the yellowness. Saturation generally brings down the color, and since yellow was like the dominant color at that point, it brought down the yellow. Then I'm going to go to brightness and just make it a tad bit more brighter. And now if you can see, my hand looks a little darker than my face. So I'm going to take one more to my hand and I'm going to make sure that it's the same color as my face, so it just looks a lot more balanced. I'm going to take the saturation just a tad bit down, and yeah, that makes it look really good. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is go back with my selective tool to the sky and make it big enough to like sort of cover the sky but not cover me. So yeah, you gotta be careful. You might have to put in 2 to 3 pins depending upon how big the area is. There is a feature in this called structure, which either adds detail or removes detail. So if you go towards the right, it adds a lot of detail, but when you go towards the left, it smoothens everything out, and I think it makes so much of a difference because there is so much texture happening. So when you take it down, it's just smooth and nice. And then what I'm going to do is go to saturation and add some saturation to it, and as you can see, it adds so much color and life to the picture and it just looks great. So I'm just going to add one more pin on the other side, go down to the structure, take it down, then go to saturation, take it up and just add a tad bit more brightness. I'm going to add some brightness here as well, and as you can see, the before and the after, there is so much difference. The picture looks wow right now and I'm loving how the sky is looking. I'm going to take the healing tool and just zoom in and remove some of these scratches because they look quite distracting. If I try removing all of them, I'm just gonna turn old because there are way too many spots here and I feel like it does add some character to the picture. So I'm just gonna remove like the big ones which are like easy to remove and are kind of obstructing the eye, but I'm just gonna let the little ones be there because yeah, there's some character to them. So if you have like a pimple on your face that's bothering you or any spots across your picture, you can totally do that. And again, as you can see, the before and the after, there is a ton of difference and I'm loving the way this looks. I'm going to do one last thing. Take the selective tool to my top and just bring down the structure a tad bit because my top was not ironed properly. So yeah, when you have unironed clothes, you can again go to structure, bring it down, and it really helps in making them look a lot smoother. So final, before and after, and I'm loving the way this picture looks, so I'm just gonna save it now. Now if you want to take it a tad bit further, I'm gonna open up lens distortion and I'm just gonna open up the picture that I just edited, and as you can see, this has a lot of these light effects. You can add them to your picture to enhance it, to make it look a little more wow. So my favorite thing to add is the classic lights, either this one or this one. So I'm just gonna take the previous one, make it smaller, and I'm going to take it to this side of the picture and just spread it across like that, so it looks like there is sunlight coming from the top. So all of the distortions that I already have in my picture makes a little more sense. Now if I place it somewhere here, it doesn't make sense. It's covering my face also, so I'm just taking it higher up so it looks like it's just gotten cut out of frame. And then I'm again going to just adjust it, go to the brightness, bring it down a tad bit so it looks a little more natural. Take the opacity down just a tad bit, and yeah, that's what it looks like. I'm just gonna save it right here. Not much happening, but it does make a bit of difference. So the final before and after of this picture is right in front of you. I love how it has turned out. It makes so much of a difference, and yeah, this is the kind of editing I like to do. I just like to enhance the colors and make them look a little more brighter, vibrant, just a lot of life. Okay, I'm gonna edit one more picture and show you guys because this needs a different kind of an editing. So already, as you can see, there are quite a few colors here, but the main problem is that there's light on half my face and there's light on half my outfit, and that is making it look a little not so great. So I'm just gonna show you how I'm gonna balance the colors out. So again, go into tune. First, I'm gonna go to ambience and just add a little life to the picture. Gonna go to highlights, which can make a a lot of difference, take them down a tad bit, not too much because it takes away a lot from the picture. So yeah, just a tad bit. Gonna go to shadows, just add a bit shadows, and gonna go to contrast. Now this can make a lot of difference. If you take it all the way up, you can see how bad the picture looks, but when you take it down, it just sort of evens the tones out as much as it can. So yeah, right now the picture looks a lot duller than where it was, but we are gonna fix that. Okay, now you can see that this part of my face is quite bright, and I'm just gonna try and balance it out. You can't fix it completely, but you can balance it out with the selective tool. So I'm just gonna add a pin to the side of my face that does not have the light, and I'm just gonna make that a tad bit brighter, and you can see it already makes a ton of difference. It just looks a lot more nicer. I'm gonna go to contrast and take it down the other way. So again, both the sides of the face don't look too different, and I'm just going to show you before and after of the face. You can see it's a lot more balanced. Then I'm going to go to selective again, select my entire face for this time, and just add a tad bit of saturation there, because with all of the contrast and the brightness that I adjusted, the color was lost. So yeah, I'm just going to do that. And if you can see a before, how stark and bleached out it is, and the after is not as much. Alright, now when you look at the whole picture, my face looks a lot more brighter and yellower than the rest of my body or the rest of the picture, but we are going to balance everything out. So now what I'm going to do is take the selective tool to the other parts of my body first, like my skin, and I'm going to correct that and make sure that it matches the face. So adding some brightness first, and then adding some saturation, doing that to my feet too, so it looks balanced. Again, this is a time consuming process. It does take a bit of time, but you gotta do what you gotta do, and I personally enjoy editing a lot. So yeah, I would love to do it. So again, I'm just gonna use a selective tool, go to different parts of my face, my body and the picture, and just adjust it. Here I've just added too much saturation, just bringing it down a little, and yeah, taking it to the other hand, making sure it is bright and saturated enough, and then taking one more onto my face, and I'm just gonna bring down the saturation just a bit because I feel like I added too much. So now if you can see, the skin from my entire picture looks quite balanced, and this is the before and after, ton of difference. So now we're gonna make sure that the rest of the picture looks balanced too. So again, selective tool, it just is a time consuming process, but it's quite simple. Add some brightness to the outfit, add a tad bit of saturation, not much, because the outfit is a beautiful pastel color and I like to keep the colors of my outfit as true as possible. That is the biggest part about being a fashion blogger. You can't really manipulate the colors of your outfit, and if you have to, then yeah, sure, but here I don't want to do that. So yeah, and then I'm going to go with a selective tool to my background, make the white because right now it's kind of gray. I'm also going to bring down the structure actually, because the wall has way too much texture and I would like it to be a little smoother. Don't take it down too much because then it will start to look fake. Just take it down the amount that looks, believable. I'm going to take some to the blue door now, because I feel like the blue could be like a nice vibrant blue, and for some reason it is not. You don't want to miss out those nooks and corners that can really be a deal breaker. It can be the difference between good and bad editing. So yeah, this was the before of the picture and this is the after, and if you can see, the colors just look so much more balanced, so much more nicer. And yeah, now one thing that you mainly have to do is straighten the picture, because the picture is not straight. So I'm going to go to rotate, and sometimes it does auto adjust it, but at times you got to do it yourself, so you can go either ways and do it. So I'm just going to follow the grid line on the door and use that as a reference point to straighten my picture. If you can also see, there's a pillar near my hand, so that is also going to act as a reference point for the adjusting. And yeah, this is the before and that's the after, and a lot of difference. Like, there is so much difference. I still feel like my outfit could look better, a little more brighter for some reason. So I'm just gonna go over those areas, and even the plants, they look like there's no saturation in them, so I'm just gonna add some there. And go back to my hair. my hair just looks like grey and weird. So I'm just gonna go to my hair and try and fix it. Let's see if it works. Yeah, a lot better. Okay, so this area again is quite bleached out. I don't think I will be able to do much about this, but we are gonna try and save as much of it as we can. Alright, so this is the final before and after, and I hope you guys can see how much more balanced and nicer the picture looks. And yeah, that's exactly what I like to do with my pictures. Enhance the colors, balance them out and make them look a little more wow. So guys, that was it for this video. I really hope you guys liked it. And if you did, don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, the link is down below. And I will see you soon in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.